For some more analysis from Colorado Springs, we're joined live by Paul Prentice, Professor of Economics at the think tank, the Centennial Institute at the Colorado Christian University. Professor Prentice, I want to start actually with your major field of interest, that link between economic liberty and political liberty. I know that you believe that God created people to be free. Therefore, to maintain a free economic society, you have to have a free economy. Tariffs are the most interventionist economic measures that you can have.
Yes, you're quite right. It appears to be a bit of a contradiction, doesn't it? Until people get used to the idea that President Donald Trump is so different from every other political leader we've seen in my lifetime, if not perhaps ever, that much of what he says and does is not final policy. It is more of a negotiating strategy. And once you understand that, the movement towards free trade will continue and will strengthen. He's just saying, let's come to the table and renegotiate some of these trade deals so they're more even all around. So I think if you think of it that way, that it's a negotiating strategy rather than an end game, because the actual end game is more and better and more free trade. But right now, that's not the current situation, and people are panicking, thinking that, well, he's putting tariffs on a free trade system. But as you well know, the current world trading system is not free trade at all. So he's just talking about renegotiating some of these trade deals, and he's pretty hard at this, and it can appear rough, I think, to some people, but that's the way it is.
Tough, that's an understatement. When you describe this as vital to national security, you could see just how upset Justin Trudeau was by having Canada as accused as a threat to US national security. How is that feasible?
Well, imagine any sovereign nation whose military depends on steel as one of the major inputs, that if it didn't have its own steel industry, how could it possibly secure its citizens and their safety? So there's much more to this than just the flat-out economics. There is, in fact, a national security interest, I think, of all nations to have some strong military ability to defend themselves, and that includes a strong industrial base of an economy.
When it comes to the retaliatory measures that the EU have created, they're being pretty clever. They're targeting orange juice, big in Florida, peanuts, big in Georgia, swing states. Are they playing a cleverer game than the US president?
They may think that, and they may certainly try. I'm not sure. It's not really a game. It's a renegotiation. I do not call this a trade war. I know that's the big headlines around the world. It's really not. I think Larry Kudlow, one of President Trump's main economic advisors, said this is not a trade war. It's a trade discussion among our trading partners and our allies. So I think if we just calm down a bit on the rhetoric and the headlines, and just people come to the table and start negotiating and renegotiating some of these trade deals so that the world has more open and more fair trade.
Well, on that note, let's leave it there. For your time, thank you so much, and your expertise, Professor Prentice from the Centennial Institute at the Colorado Christian University. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.